Hello, Indian Motorcycle Radio. I'm still new to hosting this show, but I discovered that I love you guys. Okay, so I'm not trying to get corny or anything, but it's true. So listen, here's how I came to this conclusion, right? I'm at work, sitting at my desk, working on my laptop. I share an office with 3 other women. No, we've been friends for years, but like normal work friends. We care about each other, we text frequently, but we don't really hang outside of work too often. So the lady that sits across from me is my work wife. And some of you guys might have like a work spouse, somebody that you work with really frequently, that you see probably just as much as you see your spouse at home. So what I mean is that we're like co-directors and we run multiple programs together and we make a really great team. We work together every single day. We laugh a lot. We share some very personal moments and all that. But like any spouse, there are things that she's into that I'm not. And the same goes for her. So you all know that I'm in love with motorcycles and riding. She is not. And one day, I found out some exciting news. And what's a normal reaction when you get to do something you love or you get exciting news about that subject? Right, you get super excited and want to share that with anybody that will listen. And that's what happened. Okay, so first, let me tell you the lead up to why I was so excited. I went to one of the monthly Indian Motorcycle Rider Group meetings. I told you guys before, I immediately joined my local chapter after getting my Scout Bobber. Anyway, so I went to the meeting, and one of the guys, Greg, who I mentioned before in the Scout episode 37, called it maybe small, but it can really move. Well, anyway, go check that out if you haven't already. So Greg and I were chatting, and I asked where his lovely wife, Emmy, was. See, I'd only met Emmy like once before at one of the meetings, and she has been finishing up, I'm pretty sure it was her master's degree, and then she started doing some intensive training for work. So on a side note, she's very busy and a dedicated lady, and I'm very proud to know her. So anyway, I asked where she was on that day, and Greg said, oh, she's on her way, which was surprising. So he said they had called that morning and said her new chief was delivered, and they agreed not to open the crate until everybody could be there. So at this point, I'm pretty sure like my eyeballs popped out of my head, like in the cartoons, and my tongue came out of my mouth, and like drool was running down my chin. Okay, maybe I'm being a little dramatic, but I really wanted to like give you guys like a feel of how excited I was for this moment. Not only like for my friends to be able to unbox their brand new 2021 Indian Chief, but like to finally get to see one in person for myself, since I'd been dreaming about this motorcycle since I started seeing all the released promos and stuff for it. So we had the meeting. Emmy finally arrives. And the majority of the group actually stuck around to see this stunning piece of machinery. And it's going to sound really cliche, but it was unboxed and everyone like was oohing and eyeing and cheering and hooting and hollering for her new purchase. And it was really like a celebratory moment for our group members. We all took pictures. Emmy climbed up on the crate and sat on her new motorcycle, and she looked like a stunning badass boss lady with the biggest smile on her face. I was so happy for her and so excited to finally like see this motorcycle. So at this moment I realized like I have to ride one. Like I have to test ride this bike. Don't you know the day came like a week later? Yeah, Melissa, one of the ladies at the dealership, emailed me and said, hey, we have a super Chief that just arrived on the showroom floor. Now, the reason Melissa knew I was in the market for a Chief is because I was trying to convince my husband to trade up from his Iron 883 to the new Indian Chief. Now, to see where that story goes, you guys should check out episode 39, Who Wants to Buy a Motorcycle? Okay, so back to this story. So I get the email and I messaged him. Melissa said that there's a bike in stock that we could go test ride. And I was like, hey, you should go do this. So meanwhile, I'm sitting there like jumping out of my skin because I'm like, these bikes are brand new. They're super hot. This thing's going to get sold in 24 hours. Well, he messaged me back and said he couldn't get off work, but I could take a lunch break. Yeah. So I messaged him and I was like, I can go test ride it for you and see if it lives up to all the hype. And if I think it's something you'd like, then we could see about you going down for a test ride later. So literally at this point, I was like holding my breath, waiting for his answer. And he said, yeah, go for it. So it's taken me like a couple minutes to tell you that story, but really it all happened in like a minute, like a couple seconds of messaging back and forth. So I look up at my work wife with the biggest smile on my face and so much giddiness that I was like practically bouncing out of my seat. And she looked up and noticed. I said, Paige, taking a lunch break. And she replied like, you never do that. What's going on? And seeing my face, she naturally smiled because she knew it was something good. So I told her I was about to go test ride this new motorcycle on my lunch break, which, of course, I was taking right then and there. I could not wait. So as I'm telling her what I'm going to do, and I'm gearing up to ride over to the dealership, she says something like, oh, yay, that's so exciting, and tells me to have fun. And she's genuinely excited for me. So I go and have this cool experience that I will share with you in a future episode. And I get back, and she asked me, how was it? Now, y'all know the excitement of a new motorcycle. Man, I was on cloud 9. I started spewing the whole story. What it looked like, what it sounded like. I rambled on like a kid about the power, the ride modes, the comfort, just on and on and on. So she's just listening and like randomly throws out, ooh, or fancy. And I keep talking. And at the end, when I finally start coming down from that high, I said, thank you. And she's like, for what? And I said, well, I could see on your face, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And you like could not follow along with what I was saying, but you were trying so hard to stay engaged and excited with me. And I appreciate that. And we both laughed. And she's like, well, yeah, it was important to you. So I tried, but I don't understand any of it. So this is why I say I love my listeners. I know that I now have my people. You will listen to my story and you will actually relate to it. I love my work wife for trying, and I've done the same thing for her at times, but you are my community, and I can't wait to hear your stories. So please share them with me. I will read them and laugh with you or offer a similar story I've experienced. Share with me on Facebook on the Indian Motorcycle Radio group page or on the Teresa Uncaged page. You can direct message me on Facebook or Instagram at Teresa Uncaged. You can email me at teresauncaged@gmail.com. I want to hear from my community. I want to hear all of your experiences. What have you test ridden lately? What did your last ride feel like? What moment did you have that was life-changing when you were on your motorcycle? Share with me, and I can't wait to share more with you. That's it for this episode. Thank you for being my community. Thank you for subscribing, downloading, and listening to Indian Motorcycle Radio. I hope you have a great week, and I will catch you on the next ride.
Breaker 19. Hey y'all, this is your friend and your brother from another mother, the Reverend Ken Blanchard. I'm hoping that you dig in Teresa as much as I am. She jumped on and is doing a good job. And I'm not the only one that thinks so. I can tell by the number of downloads the show is doing and also how much interaction and how many more people are trying to join Indian Motorcycle Radio on our Facebook page. Welcome to the tribe, as everybody says. You know, for the past 3 weeks, I've been the 24/7 caregiver for my wife of 30 years. It's been challenging. And having Teresa keep the podcast going is a blessing. I'm digging the enthusiasm, the new blood, the new insight, her style. I'm still here. I'm just in the back, like the man in The Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Y'all remember that? Anyway, let me give you an update of what's going down. We have Rick, who is now working on a YouTube channel for us. Yeah. And I will soon be putting all of his exploits and all the things that he's sharing as he updates his bike on BlanchardNetwork.com's page for Indian Motorcycle Radio. And eventually there'll be like a special YouTube section on there to make it even look even nicer. Teresa is jamming, Teresa Uncaged. She has her own media, a lot of her own links and stuff. So make sure you follow her on that as well. My wife is coming along nice. There's been like a micro improvement every day. Today, for example, I got her to stand for about 5 seconds. And that was the first time she stood in probably 90 days. So things are happening. I've become a practitioner. I've become a therapist, occupational speech, and physical therapy. My sleep is all jacked up. I go to bed when the sun goes down, and I get up about 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock every day to change her and make sure that her G-tube is right and all that stuff. It's been the most challenging time of my life. When she was at the rehab, which wasn't really a good rehab place, it was basically like a nursing home. They were just waiting for her to die, I believe. Glad she got out of there. But I used to drive by my favorite place, Chesapeake Cycles, out in Annapolis, and look in the window. I think I told you this already. And I was watching this one white Roadmaster that had come in, used, and my daily trips there after I left, because I was in such a bad mental state, just sad and felt beat down. Looking and being around motorcycles and motorcyclists made me feel better. That's why I started this podcast. Well, the salesman, being the great salesman that he is, started talking about this Challenger that was right at the front door. And I love the color, a ruby metal flake. And he talked about how Victory had went under, but they were improving so much stuff. They didn't really get rid of anything. They still have it. Victory might actually come back. And all the new stuff that Polaris was doing, they put in this Challenger. And he said, well, the Roadmaster that you love is cool and all, but all the latest stuff, if you want to future-proof yourself, it's in this Challenger. And the more he talked, the more it sounded like right to me. So the daily trips, the daily brainwashing I got from the salesman convinced me that, hey, if I get a new Indian, I'm going to get a Challenger. Yeah. And then Teresa had this special. She was talking about the King of the Baggers thing. Man, that just put me over the edge. And the more research I did, I thought, all right, this is not the iconic looking Indian. This thing looks like a Road King, a Road Glide from Harley, and a little bit mixed with a Victory. But it grew on me, and I thought, yeah, this is gonna be it right here. So I went to the credit union. I thought, yeah, they won't okay my loan, but they did. Then I thought, man, I didn't even have to ask or beg my wife. She's gonna beat me up when she can talk again, and I'm looking forward to it. So I rode home, about 3 weeks ago, and my bike is in the garage. I'm going to ride it to work this week, and my daughter's taking off for a couple of days, which came right on time because I got called into work, and it's going to give me a chance to get out of the house, actually put some miles on my bike, even though we're in that sweet spot of the break-in period, the first 500 miles. But I got myself a bike, y'all. Yeah. And I'm even looking forward to the butt chewing I'm going to get from my wife when she can talk again, which might be any day now because she's making some serious strides. After I get this thing broke in, I plan to ride to Virginia Beach, to Myrtle Beach, to Lake George up in New York, and I'll probably do some miles through Philadelphia and the Pennsylvania backcountry before the winters come. And most definitely have to ride up to New York to find my friend and brother, Rick, who's helped me in some ways. And then in 2022, I make a nice long trip. I'll try to find the rabbi and meet Teresa and a few of my other friends down in Florida. But that's in the future. As I learn about my new bike, as I get through this crisis, this challenge in my life, yeah, that's why I am the challenger. While I'm going through this stage in my life, I'll be giving you little bonus tips and bonus episodes and little pieces after Teresa speaks, if that's okay with you. I'm asking those that pray to continue to pray for my wife, pray for my strength, pray for my courage. This has been the hardest thing I've ever done. And if you're new to the show, check out some of our older episodes and let me know what you think. Again, thanks to Teresa Uncaged, for all her enthusiasm and professionalism and spirit help pushing us through. If you like the show, if you'd like to support it, we have a Buy Me a Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee /motorcycles. I'll put the link in the show notes. That's buymeacoffee.com /motorcycles to support this podcast. It'd just be a small token. It's like a one-time deal. I think you can do reoccurring buys, but I don't think so. It might just be a one-time shot. But just, if you like to show your love, show your appreciation, keep me motivated, show that you like what you hear, feel free to donate to buymeacoffee.com /motorcycles to send us a note, either by email or hitting us up on Facebook on our Facebook pages. My email address is Ken, that's KENN .blanchard@gmail.com. If you want a sticker, which I forgot to advertise in a while, send me an email and with your address and let me know. I got a decal that says IndianMotorcycleRadio.com on it with the Indian logo. Let me know that you're out there. Had those records made up and I'll send them to you for free. And like Teresa said, we're trying to grow our community. And that's what this is. All right, my friends, that's it for this week. I want to thank you for listening, downloading, and subscribing to your favorite righteous podcast, Indian Motorcycle Radio. Now may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon you. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. Kickstands up. Let's ride.